Welcome to part 2 of the Diatone Crusader GT2 build. So I'm all built up, got everything installed. I'm using the Combini flight controller, the Spectrum satellite receiver, and the Hawkeye VTX. And as you can see, there is not a lot of space. So I'm quite certain and saying that any flight controller you install in here almost would have to be an all-in-one sort of situation. Flight controller with a PDB and all of that, because with the amount of real estate you have, I really would be hard-pressed to see if you could even get anything else inside of there. So yeah, I went and flew it today, other than the times I've flown it in my backyard just to make sure it all flies. At a parking garage. So I already have some scrapes and scratches and all that good stuff that I had to fill with a little bit of super glue. But other than that, it held up great. I really didn't do any hard crashes or anything like that. And it felt fine. One thing that was interesting, because I've never flown a quad with the battery strapped to the bottom before, it's always been on top, is you can tell that whenever you go through a turn, the mass of the battery kind of pulls you through the turn. So I don't know if it was just my head playing tricks on me or if I was actually feeling something, but I felt like I needed to alter my flying, or it could also be that I just need to tune it. I put that same flight controller on my Speed Addict, and it was rock solid, no problem. But on this quad, I guess I'm gonna have to tune a little bit. One thing to note: these are the Dow 5040 props. Is the amount of clearance you have back here. I don't know if you can tell that very well. Move my light down a little bit, but the amount of clearance you have. I mean, you can clear it. It does work, but one of the cool features about this is the hood that lifts up. To do that, you just remove these two screws, but you also have to loosen up these screws as well. Now, if you don't get those screws completely tight, that frame can separate just a little bit, and it will actually touch. I mean, you can tell. I mean, there's less than I don't think you can get much closer than that. So that's one thing just to be aware of. Also, my VTX here, the reason I'm using this one is because it was a spare in my box, and I just kind of threw it in here just to get it flying. But what I did is, well, the reason it was a spare is because I ripped the pigtail connector off of it. And so I took an old dipole antenna and just soldered it on here and left it on there, and just to make do. It worked very well, actually. I was quite surprised, and it's kind of, you kind of put it wherever you want. The only issue is whenever I was flying, you're getting crashes, whatnot, and this will come up and actually hit the antenna. Or I'm sorry, the antenna will hit the props. So that's just one thing to be aware of. The camera, the way the camera is mounted, no issue at all. I really just don't. You will see the props in the camera. I know it's not really a big thing for a lot of people, but pretty much every quad I've ever flown, you've never seen the props. So that's one thing to get used to. It's really not that big of a deal, and honestly, it kind of helps you with knowing the how your props are doing, really. So that's kind of a good thing. See if you have any bent, at least on the front. See if you have any bent ones or out of whack or what have you. So. Yeah, the power connector, the way I wired everything up for the power, super short pigtail. I'm probably one of the only few people in the world who use Deans on their quadcopter. I know XT60s are the way everyone usually go, but I'm old school. I like Deans. So super short power leads when it comes to that. So something to remember. You don't want a lot of wire hanging off back there, because when your battery goes in here, I got one right here I can show you. Your battery goes in, and I actually also use a A voltage regulator. I just 3D printed out this little mount. And these voltage regulators are actually really cool, not only because they'll beep at you and all that good stuff, but they're really good for keeping your balance plugs out of the way. I can, I chew up balance plugs like crazy for some reason. So, yeah, as you can see, you have plenty of wire just to plug directly into that die. So, and then you plug your balance lead over here. Plug this up so don't wake the whole house up. So there you go. Nice, neat. Keeps everything kind of tidy. So, yeah, it's, I'll tell you what, all in all, I'm actually really impressed with it. It was a $70 frame, and it's nice, compact, flies well. I'm not the best pilot in the world, but I'm able to push it around the track and seem to keep it out of the trees and whatnot. So, yeah, if you have any questions or anything, comment, subscribe, like, all the stuff, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can answer. Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and everyone have a good night.